create, we'll try to recreate and try to see if we can get it back. And then I'll just start scatting lyrics over it. Maybe it's just even a melody, or I don't even have real words yet. And eventually, over time, we start honing it, kind of whittling it away into a song. And black metal is definitely one of those where we really all collectively worked on this one and brought it to what you're hearing now.
Okay.
I gotta be upfront about that.
Oh, Chris has got to say something.
Chris,
The drummer's got to say something.
It was a weird night. Well, not such a weird night, actually, because I was completely sick of hearing myself drumming, just like fed up with my drumming. So I actually came up with that part so that I wouldn't have to listen to myself at all. So basically, the idea was that these guys would completely cover my ass, and I would play a bunch of garbage, and somehow this tune came out of it. I don't know how. And it was called black metal.
Okay, because, I love the drumming on that, and the groove, and the keys, and the zaps. You've got zaps in it.
We do have some zaps. We thought it would be really important to start and finish the song with some zaps. The zaps. The zaps. I mean, who doesn't want zaps at the start and finish of a song? I mean, that's got to happen.
Or you could have Zappa.
We could have Zappa, as long as it's not, if it's Moon Unit, we could have her come over. Dweezil, Moon Unit. Dweezil, he's cute, but not as cute as Moon Unit.
Casey is shaking his head.
Yeah, Moon Unit is great. Dweezil, he's great, but I'm not attracted to him.
Oh, okay. There you go. And Casey plays keyboards with them. Keys, I should say.
A couple of keys.
I play the keys, too. All right, let's play black metal here on Mike's Daily Podcast. It's Cure for Gravity! That is the song Black Metal. Oh, some lasers at the end. By Cure for Gravity. See them tomorrow night at the House of Blues in Los Angeles in the Foundation Room as we go outside the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Yes, Friday they're playing at the Foundation Room, and I will have my finale of the interview with Cure for Gravity tomorrow as well. So the picture is of what's the picture of? I've spaced the final frontier on this. It was the thing that... Give me a second. That's right. It's the Sausalito picture. The sun was setting. I was taking the ferry from Sausalito over to San Francisco and the ferry building. If you've never done that, do it. And if you have a Clipper card and you put the whatever they call the ferry service line on your Clipper card, it'll only cost you $5 one way, and I think it costs like $10 one way usually. So you save a lot. So try that. That's my travel tip. I seem to do a travel tip at the end of every podcast now. You're welcome. And it was a lovely sunset going down there over the hill behind Sausalito, as it does, because of where it is geographically. You know what's strange, other than me, is if you watch the latest Star Trek, the one Into Darkness with the now engaged Benedict Cumberbatch, and when is it the Star Trek Enterprise, or what's the ship? I forget. Some ship is crashing, and it flies right over the Golden Gate Bridge. And if you freeze frame it, their picture of what the future looks like, Sausalito has become this huge city, apparently. I was looking at it like, what? And it looks like they've also colonized Angel Island, which is this completely barren island just off the coast there of Sausalito in the bay. And it's where it was sort of like our Ellis Island here on the West Coast. I'm full of knowledge today. Don't know what happened. I must have eaten a peanut. It strengthened my brain cells, apparently. But yeah, so and Angel Island's all colonized, and I don't know what J.J. Abrams was thinking, but he did Star Trek, the movie. For those of you who aren't as nerdy as I. But I could be way nerdier. I have the video games, nothing. My brain has no information about video games right there. I've got this roommate that I told you about who's in his 20s, and he has shown me some of his video games. One of them is some kind of a car driving one. And I probably look like an idiot because there's apparently this is the biggest car game there is. And it is just amazing. You can drive Maseratis, Lamborghinis, any kind of car, a Citroen, anything you want. Citroen? A Yugo, I think. No, maybe not one of those. I haven't let you guys talk at all today, have I? No, Mike, but that's okay. We had nothing to say. Basically, Mike, we just wanted to come in here and correct you about that thing we corrected you about earlier. Oh, okay. What did you think about my description of the very beautiful teacher that I have in my health class? Yeah, Mike, you should totally tap that. What? I haven't heard that sort of lingo from you. I mean, I think you should go out on a date. There you go. That's more gentlemanly of you. And totally tap that. On the shoulder. Tap her on the shoulder so she knows that you're there. Oh. Like a ghost tapping me on the shoulder and saying boo? That kind of thing? I'm going to stop the tape again. Later that day. Dare you do that? That was so offensive. As a woman, I found that very offensive. John Dare the engineer. I'm so sorry. It was sort of a joke. Because you know I'm not really like that. I know, I forgive you. Well, anyway, we had a little bit of a row while you were away. But I think things are better now. Especially since it's the end of the show. That makes everything better. Next show will be the finale of the interview and Mike on Mobile with Cure for Gravity. Plus, we will hear from the wonderful Benita, the disgruntled fiddle player, and the brewmaster.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
No, Chely, I really mean it. I meant that Mike should tap her on the shoulder. John Deere, the engineer, for your information, women do not like any sort of physical contact whatsoever. Haven't you seen that video on YouTube where that poor girl gets harassed by all those guys saying all kinds of mean things to her? You know, Chely, I actually have the opposite problem. When I walk down the street, I'm like completely invisible. Nobody can see me. That's a whole other hell of its own. Mike Matthews, I find it very hard to believe that you're ever alone. What do you mean by that? Oh, look, butterflies. I want to grab one. Mike, leave them alone. Because I'm Floyd the Floorman and also a